Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Hello and welcome to Maritime Radar. The Nigerian Ports Consultative Council is a body that advises, advocates, and consults on port development in Nigeria, with a goal to improve the efficiency of its port system. NPCC, with a mandate on advocacy, advisory, arbitration, and consulting, bring to fore solutions to port development. The Council develops policy frameworks for the port system, create a database of port industry statistics, support the implementation of the National Single Window Project, monitor its progress, and provide advisory support for its implementation. Assessing Nigeria's port operation challenges and the strategic way of resolving it are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I am Norma Obiaswala. The Nigerian Port Consultative Council (NPCC) quarterly meeting report in 2024 highlighted a significant decline in vehicle imports and overall port traffic, attributed to naira depreciation and economic downturn. Reports also noted issues with port access roads, the dominance of empty containers in outbound traffic, and a call for the NPCC to establish a research department to centralize maritime data. Additionally, there was a focus on the impact of the Lekki deep sea port on vessel turnaround times and the overall need for strategic planning, infrastructure development, and stakeholder collaboration to improve port efficiency. The first half of 2024 saw a substantial 60.8% year-on-year drop in vehicle imports, with a total of 10,991 units handled compared to 28,024 in the first half of 2023, reflecting the economic slowdown. Despite a 4.3% drop in vessel calls, the gross tonnage of ships rose by 7.9% in half-year 2024 due to the berthing of larger vessels, particularly at the Lekki deep sea port. The report also showed empty containers comprising about 80% of total export container traffic, indicating an imbalance in trade. I must say that these statistics are worrisome as an import-dependent nation. The same decline is also seen in export. Before we go further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
Nigeria's Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has called for the removal of war risk insurance premiums on Nigeria-bound vessels, describing them as outdated, unjust, and harmful to competitiveness. Speaking at the third annual Maritime Lecture of the Maritime Reporters Association of Nigeria, MARAN, in Lagos, Oyetola, represented by his media advisor, Bolaji Sunmola, outlined the ministry's achievements since its creation in 2023. He cited the end of the decades-long Apapa gridlock, the launch of Africa's first national policy on marine and blue economy, and Federal Executive Council approval for modernizing Lagos and Tinkan Island ports, with Eastern Ports upgrades underway. The minister noted that agency revenues have doubled in 2 years, reaching 1.39 trillion naira in 2024, while the cabotage vessel financing fund has been unlocked. He also pointed to reforms in fisheries, agriculture, and inland waterway safety. Despite 4 years without piracy incidents, Oyetola warned that Nigeria still loses an estimated $1.5 billion annually to war risk premiums based on outdated perceptions of insecurity. Tanzania is boosting port security with a national training workshop on Port Facility Security Assessment (PFSAs) held this week in Dar es Salaam. The program trained maritime agencies and port staff to identify and manage risks to infrastructure, operations, and personnel, while providing technical skills to carry out comprehensive assessments required under the International Ship and Port Facility Security (ISPS) code. The initiative builds on earlier International Maritime Organization (IMO) activities, including an October 2024 session on developing and implementing port facility security plans. It also aligns with Tanzania's broader maritime security agenda, which includes strengthening institutional frameworks, operationalizing the National Maritime Information Sharing Center, and supporting the Djibouti Code of Conduct and its Jeddah Amendment. Director of Transport Stella Katondo stressed that robust measures were vital for the sector's role in the economy. This was echoed by TESAC's Director of Maritime Safety, Advocate Letitia Mutaki. Backed by EU funding, the IMO-led workshop brought together 30 participants from key national agencies and private port operators, further advancing Tanzania's commitment to maritime safety and security.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar. Port congestion in West Africa is a persistent problem affecting several key ports, leading to significant delays, increased costs, and trade inefficiencies. The issue stems from a combination of several factors, including inadequate infrastructure, inefficient cargo handling, and high demand. Several ports, particularly in Nigeria, face severe congestion, impacting not only local businesses but also the broader regional and global supply chain. What then is the solution to this menace? Experts say adopting digital technologies such as electronic cargo tracking systems and automated port operations can improve efficiency and transparency. Also, collaboration between West African countries to standardize custom procedures and infrastructure development can enhance regional trade and competitiveness. In this conversation with Bolaji Sunmola, Chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council, he shares how he can address port operations challenges now to ensure global competitiveness for Nigerian ports in the next 5 years. This and many more after this short break. Please stay with us. It's good to have you join us again on the show, sir.
It's my pleasure to be with you, Norma, this wonderful, cold day.
It's good to see you. How are my people at NPCC?
We are good, very well, thank God.
Okay, so let's get to it. Nigerian seaports are the lifeline of our economy, if you agree with that. Therefore, I think delays, inefficiencies, and regulatory misalignment hurt productivity and also revenue and investor confidence. Talk us through what Nigerian Ports Consultative Council, that is NPCC, is doing to boost efficiency in the Nigerian ports.
First, thank you. That's a very wide question. You should know our role within the industry. When we talk about NPA, we are talking about the government establishment that has been on ground, seeing to the issues of our ports, administration of our ports, proper functionality of our ports. And like I said, maybe I'll go back a little bit back to history. How NPCC came about is a function of the operators within the system that felt there must be a guide to what NPA should be able to achieve, set parameters, and when there are complaints, people can come together. So right from before the birth of the nation, you've had NPCC be in operation, maybe not in this form, but in a form of whereby the operators, the practitioners within the industry comes together to look for a solution. So by and large, from our perspective, we are there to see that we guide, we assist, basically we assist NPA in seeing that they achieve their objectives. And this we do in different ways, through arbitration, through our meetings, through our discourse. There's nothing we can enforce through conciliation, discussions, opening up various fora for where ideas can be cross-fertilized, and going on our own to see that we do things that will support the functional effectiveness of Nigerian Ports Authority.
Okay, with what you said, it's obvious that ensuring port efficiency is not a one-man show. So what do you think is the role of collaboration in resolving these port operation challenges? And how do we begin also to strengthen a partnership between government and private practitioners in the industry?
Yeah, I think all over the world, the models that we have is that most ports are privately driven. But in the parts of this world, government still has a lot of hand inputs in terms of the running, because huge, don't forget, port development requires huge funding, and it's only government that can provide this. But we have seen that private participation, they have been able over the years to come up with funding to meet such challenges. But he who pays the piper dictates the tunes, and that is why you have the government evidence in terms of policy direction and policy way of how to go, things to do. And then, of course, most of the employees that you have in NIMASA, NPA, and all that are still basically subjected to government ethos and rules of doing things. The private initiative that has come in has helped a great deal since the advent of concessioning, which is an act. I mean, this is part of what we are trying to achieve, to ensure that private participation to continue to increase within the industry. Not that we have it fully, we should take it that at least for now, government still has the lion's share in terms of control, provision of funding, provision of resources to administer our ports. But it's better, I would say. The private industries are having their voices. From our perspective at Nigerian Ports Consultative Council, which is arbitration, consultation, and bringing all ideas within the industry, aggregating it and ensuring that the voice of the less are heard, and putting our facts before the government. This is how it is done, because we do comparative studies and all of that. I think that is the narrative is eventually changed.
So let's also look at another challenge, which is port congestion. What solution do you think NPCC can prefer to this?
This discourse we've always had, and in various we've always had, because the way, in fact, we should not leave the port planning or the port development totally different from our town planning, from the way we organize ourselves, the way we organize our town. And most of the ports we have been to across the world, you can see that the port has its own corridor, has its own plan. There's a master port plan which completely ensures the sovereignty of that port, let me say it that way, because the port should have its own life, should have its own everything. But what you have in Nigeria, because of because our people, know that we are not law-abiding, but sometimes we do not play strictly to the law. You find that most lands within the port's ecosystem are being driven into, taken into, they're not totally playing to the rules of urban planning, which has already been laid down. I hope you are getting what I mean. Take, for instance, the Tinkan port development, fantastic. Over the years, when this new port was there, development of houses to that place was miles. But what do you have? It has an attraction of people coming nearer, almost eating to the port. Yeah. So these are the congestion. It's not just the traffic congestion alone we are talking about. We are talking about the human movement within the port, which is so heavy.
But maybe the plan was not futuristic enough to be able to know that urbanization is going to catch up with the port and be able to do enough extension. Do you think?
I think that's what we are putting in place. It's just the enforcement. I would say the enforcement is weak. And you have maybe government, either the local government or the state government, overriding, not sharing in the perspective of what port is. Even if NPA has all of that laid down, how does it implement it? Because it doesn't have control over the state, it doesn't have control over not just the local government. And when they decide in the interest of the people, then you have all this being put totally in abeyance, and it's not helping our development.
So we are due for a break. We will looking at global competitiveness. We're looking at that maritime is international. So, but what role are we playing globally? But that will be after this short break. Please stay with us.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radio, and I still have with me Bolaji Sunmola. He's the chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council. Before we went on that break, I said maritime business is international. Therefore, ensuring global competitiveness is key. So how then do we begin to, how can we build now global competitiveness that will ensure our Nigerian ports are competitive in the next 5 years?
Yeah, let me start from NPA. It was a good thing reading from NPA when they were saying in another 5 years they want to achieve, I think, 30% increment over what they've been achieving in the past. Oh, we said wonderful. But this is a
so
statement.
What do they have on ground?
That is where I'm going. This is a good, this is a statement of fact, this is a statement of intention. This is what I want to be. How do you want to go there? And we engaged them, and we are still talking, and we're quite happy with the kind of collaboration we are getting. We are happy that they understood what they need to do. And then we too they've asked us our own side of it. And we have said, for you to achieve the 30%, that means each day.
This 30% is how long?
Over 5 years.
Over 5 years, okay.
Yes, I'm saying for you to achieve that over 5 years, each day matters. If it's going to be 0.11 or 0.1 that you will do daily for you to get to that milestone. And they quite agree. And the first issue, I think that's how the issue of first, let's get our ports working. Okay. Let's get the infrastructures right. Because if you do not have the structures, how do you support the operational base? Okay? And I'm sure that is why the MD has gone wholeheartedly to see that most of the structural defects that needs to be taken care of within the port are done. I'm not speaking for NPA now, because if the concessionaires have taken the issues of the port health, what I mean health, the structural defects are not there, I don't think we'll be talking about this. But from now, that's what the NPA needs to do. All the structural defects that needs to be put in place needs to be done before moving to the next stage, to see that whatever it is we want to achieve must be there. Because it's good to set a percentage, but how do you achieve that? Achieve that percentage? It has to start from the grassroots, from the brass tack.
A green slate.
Yes.
A green slate.
Yeah.
So you think, what timeline have they given to this infrastructure? Because that is just one of the many things they need to do if they must achieve the 30% in 5 years.
It's not only, I will just cut you in, sorry. It's not only for NPA. Most of the within the industry with task NPA and all this issue. But I want you to note too, something revolutionary too is happening. If you can have the single window too, which would be fantastic. And the government has said and has given a promise that by January, the single window must kick off.
So how do we begin also, still looking at the ports, to develop the eastern ports to become more attractive to shippers and also guarantee reduction in shipping costs?
I will look back. What makes ports attractive? What are the conditions that make so? Is it government? That's something that sometimes we get very wrong. It's the enterprise that are developed. Why is Lagos over congested? Have we looked at it? Have we looked at the scenario? What is the population distribution? Where are the users? Where are the primary industries? Gone past, yes, we know Ikeja used to be the industrial hub of Nigeria, and of course, Lagos Port got developed with that. But over the years, that has spread. Our aluminium melting factory, if it had gone well, Because of that, a rail line was made through Warri to connect to the port there for ease of. So it's not really about what the Nigerian Ports Authority could do. It's all about our own urban planning. What are we putting? What do we want to achieve? What are the segments of industries we want to be? We don't want congestion. That past many maybe decades of years past, Baroque Ports was functional. For today, Baroque Ports is not more functional. The fathers that planned Baroque Ports knew the reason why they did that. It's just to ease movement of goods right in the hinterland to the very source where raw materials are taken up. So instead, people shout, there's nothing big about making. But the other day, one of the biggest ships came through HMT to the Eastern Port and we are celebrating. Yes, fine, it's okay. But then all those ports must be functional. Ships must be fully able to go. But then, like I said, because of commercial reasoning, vessels will only go to where their charges or their costs will be minimal, whereby they can achieve a good return on their investment.
But do you think this lack of development of Eastern Port is political? And do you think also that incentives can also help to attract more ships to berth at the Eastern Port? Because looking at, I saw numerous statistics saying that about 65% of the ships that berth in Lagos still end up by a road to the east. So why do that kind of rigmarole? Because at the end of the day, all those costs still falls back on final consumers. So why don't we just develop that port and reduce congestion? Do you think it's political?
No. 100% I won't agree it's political. If it's political, don't you have people within that enclave? Don't you have, how will I say, head of establishment or head of governance within those areas? Can they put in influences? And if we are to look at the total commerce of Nigeria, we will know, if we look at the dichotomy, we know that a certain percentage is even more towards that area. We should not remain congested. That's what I'm saying. We should spread. It's not political.
So therefore, you see the need to develop the Eastern Port.
Yeah, I see the need, not only the Eastern Port, I see the need to even develop the Baroque Port. Because I see the need for a major inland container terminal to work, because it's going to ease distribution, it's going to make life easier.
And even dry ports.
And even the dry ports.
Okay, data is critical in planning and sustainability of the marine and blue economy. Do we have accessible data in Nigeria's maritime industry?
Well, the time that we put accessible, because there's one particular company who mentioned their name and I said data is life. We all know, okay? To have data is life. And we know that data is like historical. Because when you have data, you'll be able to plan, you'll be able to make prognosis, you'll be able to decide, you'll be able to make allocation of your resources. Because by and large, your resources can never be enough. So you need on what basis these allocations will be done. So we need data. And for now in Nigeria, I know it's difficult to get data. When you even assessments of the parastatals or the agencies, when they look at you, you want data from there. It's like, does this one wants to hit us? Is it a friend? Is it an enemy? There's that element of suspicion that what are you going to do with it? What do you need it for? And that is why from Nigerian Ports Consultative Council, though, because we have some little teething problem in starting, but we have said that we are setting up a research and development information
because
center.
I always wanted to mention that because for me as a journalist, not having data, like in my introduction, I had to talk about 2024, when we are in third quarter 2025. There is no data. So it's difficult for us also as a journalist to be able to work and be able to inform our viewers on the statistics that we need. So because this falls on the purview of NPCC to also put together data. So what are you doing? That is, the last time I said, this is exciting to know that, okay, NPCC is going this route.
Yeah, the paucity of funds actually slowed us down. We need to be to our office, the environment which we are. We need to touch it all, for instance, before we can even put a computer that will not easily be having virus issues and all that. We need to touch up our environment to see that even if we put a small computer that it will work effectively, get the right thing. Those are the things that slowed us. Otherwise, we are working seriously to ensure that at least we maintain some data information to aid this industry. And we want to assure that once we're able to secure the necessary assistance in terms of funding for all of this, we will let the world know that because we are partnering with so many agencies across the world, they are ready to work with us. Is it from the Far East, from the Middle East, even from the Americas, Europe? They are ready to work with Nigerian Ports Consultative Council in terms of provision of data.
Okay, still on finance, which I think is imperative for NPCC to drive its lofty goals. What strategies has been put in place to raise funds and make these goals visible and impactful?
Yeah, that is one of the fathers that came together that put NPCC together. At that time, it was basically private driven. You have the shipping companies, and the only chip in at the time they want to is that it's so discretionary that if you feel happy and I like your face, I'll give you money. The moment I don't like what you say about me, then I will drop my phone. So we are caught between that catch-9 faces, because when you talk about, oh, you criticize me, how do you want my money? No, I'm not going to give. But it doesn't work that way. You should know that from NPCC perspective, for the totality of the industry for Nigeria, we don't care whose us is going. Let us hit the truth, because it's going to help us. It's not about Bolaji, it's not about my vice and insurance. It's all about ensuring that Nigeria has the best. So sourcing funds has been Herculean. We've been looking for various models whereby we have membership, payment, and we have little bit. Kudos to NPA, who has been supporting us in their own little way. But definitely, we are going to a size that we need more. We need more. We need to do more. And that is what led us to the issue of bringing up training. The training aspect we brought to one of the things that NPCC is doing now is basically to drive funds. Whatever that is we have left there, we'll be able to meet up some of the things that we need to do. Whereby you still find us struggling to pay salaries, to make running costs, it's not good enough. We want to be actually out there to be able to be proactive, to do so many things that we are looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to seeing visibly these goals making impact in the industry, and also particularly looking forward to being able to access data, which when you people come up with the training. Thank you very much for your time and thoughts. It's always a pleasure talking to you. It's been Bolaji Sunmola. He is the chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council. Thank you for your time and your thoughts again on the show.
I appreciate what you do. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode. I hope the solutions profiled will help address the endemic challenges seen in the Nigerian ports. Every week, join us on Maritime Radar as we explore how Africa can embrace political will in implementing policies that will ensure maritime sector development. You can also expect the latest in maritime news and industry insights right here. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Many thanks for your time, and see you again next week.
Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.